It's been hailed as the beginning of a new era. As the Adonia left the port of Miami, there was a sense among its passengers that they were making history. The mood on board was festive. Few here thought a journey like this would ever be possible. Passenger Susan Fawkes was a student when the Cuban Revolution happened, and she's ready to embrace change.
We saw the world change and close up, kind of, in a way, for as close as we were. And I'm glad. I have tears in my eyes. I'm glad it's opening.
Nevertheless, for some in the Cuban community here, this is a controversial journey. Protesters from Miami's so-called exiled community say they won't be happy until Cuba is free.
Our ultimate goal is for the Cuban government to acknowledge that Cubans belong there, regardless of how they think, and to allow them to think differently and yet live in their own homeland.
But in Havana, Cubans lined up along the famous Malecon seafront to welcome the ship and its passengers. The significance of this journey isn't lost on a nation that for so long has been estranged from one of its closest neighbors.
If there's a representation of the drastically changing relationship between the US and Cuba, it's right here in the port of Havana. You can see Cubans lining up to greet the American passengers who've sailed across the ocean for the first time in more than half a century.
For many of these passengers, this is the first time they've walked the streets of Havana. For others, the journey is more than just a destination.
I grew up with this music. I grew up with all these things. My father always say this is the most important thing, sentimental thing. So it's very deep in my heart.
Carnival cruises will sail here twice a month in what the company say is the beginning of a new chapter in US-Cuba relations. Andy Gallacher, Jazeera, Havana, Cuba.